Hi everybody, it's Papa Rock 46 again, 2 days in a row. I can't believe it. Yesterday, I was reminded by my little sin, everybody knows Christine, right? About a little event that happened in my life a couple 3 years ago. And it was over her comment in her 5 random things tagged video thing that she did. And she said that she loves to wear pajamas. She just loves pajamas. And I can't stand all that cloth clinging to me at night, and it doesn't, you can't turn in the sheets, and I just can't stand it. I feel all choky in pajamas. And she, when I wrote her back in my comments and said, I don't know how you wear pajamas, she said to me, well, what do you do in the middle of the night if there's an emergency? Would you get dressed, or would you exit your house in an emergency and scare the neighbors? And I was thinking about that, and it reminded me of this story. And I used to travel a lot for work, and stay, of course, in hotels. And this particular event happened in a hotel in Toronto. And I had taken my sleeping pill, as was my habit, at about 10:30, and then I'd read for half an hour and go to sleep. And it always would piss me off if something woke me in the hotel, because my night would be ruined and I couldn't take a second pill. And so that's what happened. I went to sleep and something woke me up in the middle of the night, and it annoyed me. And while I was trying to go back to sleep, I started to cough. And I coughed, and I coughed, and I coughed, and I coughed. And I couldn't breathe. So I thought, well, you better get up and get a drink of water and move around a bit, and maybe the cough will just go away. I don't know what it was. I was in the bathroom getting a drink and noticed in the light the light was on, and I could see myself, and I'm covered in all these red blotchy spots. And so I realized, well, obviously I'm allergic to something, and I'm reacting in some negative way, because I could not breathe, and I coughed deep from the chest. And so I got my drink. It didn't help. I went back to bed, lay there fighting the cough, saying to myself, you're not going to cough anymore, you're not going to cough, you're going to go to sleep. Cough, 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 cough. Couldn't stop. And I realized about half an hour later that I was in trouble. I couldn't get breath in, and it was making me dizzy and disoriented. And I did manage to call the front desk, and the phone just rang. There was no answer. And I realized that if I didn't get help, well, it was getting worse. And so I never thought about calling 911. I got up, I struggled up, and at that time, just when I was struggling up, and I don't know what I was going to do, but I got up, there was a bang on my door, and I thought, oh my God, I've awakened somebody with my coughing, and they've come to check on me. And I pulled on, here, Christine, I managed to dress. I pulled on a pair of jeans and a sweatshirt. That's all. Bare feet, no other clothes, blue jeans and sweatshirt. And I crawl to the door. And I managed to get the lock open, and I'm coughing. I didn't even think of looking through the peephole. Had no conscious thought of my own safety. I open the door, middle of the night, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I open the door, and standing there is a firefighter in full dress, boots, great big hatchet in his hand, and full Scott Air pack, full face mask on, breathing apparatus and air tank on his back. And I couldn't see his face. Made me think of that scene in E.T., when the guy, anyway, I look at him, and I'm conscious enough to be shocked by the firefighter that's at my door with a hatchet ready to knock it down. And he grabs me by my shirt and pulls me out into the hallway, and the whole hallway is full. It's pandemonium. Firefighters all over the place. Doors being banged on, and hotel guests being pulled out in all kinds of clothing, nighties, pajamas, all kinds of stuff. And I look down the hall, and there's this naked man big furry man, covered in hair. I vomit on the firefighter's feet, and he passes me to another firefighter who drags me down the stairs on the 5th floor, drags me down the stairs, and takes us, we're all being exited to the outside. And all of us are coughing or hacking or throwing up. And I got a little excited there. I had to have a rest. So the firefighter had taken me down the stairs, and we went right to the outside. And it's November in Toronto, freezing cold, middle of the night. I had no shoes and socks on. And he just abandons me on the stairs of the hotel. And what I'm looking at, in the front of the hotel, there were 2 bus ambulances with paramedics running all over the place trying to help all these guests from the 5th floor. And, well, you can just imagine the chaos and the pandemonium that was going on. The cold air and the fresh air helped me recover. I didn't need any help. And after I got cold, I went back inside. I was able to walk. I had a low cough, but nothing the way it was before. I could breathe again. Went inside, had a hot drink, and 3 hours go by while they clean up all this mess. Nobody's telling us what's happening, and we're all the guests are sort of huddled in the foyer part of the hotel. Happily, they had a nice lounge area, and we could sit. Anyway, we come to find out that 2 young men had checked into the hotel the night before, and they had let off on the 5th floor vent system, air exchange system, 4 canisters of high concentrated pepper spray that had no scent. And it went right through the hotel on the 5th floor, poisoning all of the guests. And that's that. That was all. I called the police later, trying to find out what it was exactly that we had been exposed to, but they had no further report other than it was 2 young men that had played a prank, letting off 4 canisters of highly concentrated pepper spray. There's my story. So I do, Christine, I would get dressed. Maybe not completely, but I would get dressed. I would take the time to get dressed in an emergency in the middle of the night. That's it, that's all.